I was working at home when someone suddenly ambushed me.
The attacker had a clear target in mind and went straight for my neck. I thought I was a dead man for sure, but then I realized it was some kind of syringe-like device. My vision started getting blurry, and I didn't even have a chance to fight back before I passed out. A few hours later, I was woken up by a phone call. I didn't recognize the voice on the other end, but the caller knew my name right away. What was even stranger was that I found myself still at home, completely unharmed. As a Special Forces operative, I quickly realized that the attacker's target might not have been me after all. I rushed to my son's room, and sure enough, he was gone. I searched the entire house, inside and out, but there was no sign of him anywhere. That's when the caller gave me the answer. My son was being held captive in some rundown warehouse with a poison gas pipeline running overhead. If I was willing to do one thing for them, my son would live. It was obviously a threat, but I had no choice. Even knowing it was blackmail, I had to go along with it. Following the caller's instructions, I went to my own warehouse. There on the floor was a box that hadn't been there before. Inside the box was a complete set of weapons and gear, not just guns and ammunition, but also body armor and a knife. The body armor even had a tiny camera attached to it. When the warehouse door opened, a black armored SUV appeared right in front of me. But with all this elaborate setup, they definitely weren't giving me presents. Sure enough, once I got in the car, they had already mapped out a driving route for me. Following the GPS directions, I drove to the destination, an upscale hotel. The caller told me that right now 2 drug trafficking organizations were having a party inside the hotel. My target was to take out everyone inside and sabotage their partnership.
This is insane, okay? I can't just go in there shooting up the place. What about the innocent bystander?
The caller assured me that the people inside were cold-blooded killers, and I wouldn't face any consequences for eliminating them all.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat, pal. Be back in a minute.
Thinking about my son's safety, I grabbed a portable submachine gun and headed out. There were no guards at the hotel entrance because the drug dealers inside were already drunk off their asses. They never would have expected someone to make a move on them at this hour. My approach was simple: go in and start shooting. Since most of the dealers were wasted, I took out half of them with my first spray of bullets. Then I found cover and hid. When the dealers realized what was happening and fought back, they had no real tactics. They were just sitting ducks. Using the cover and smooth positioning, I quickly finished off the remaining dealers. Afterward, I rushed back to the car and floored it out of there. I demanded that the caller keep his promise and release my son. But what I didn't know was that he was a major drug lord himself. He had kidnapped my son specifically to get me to eliminate his competition. Even if I died in the process, he wouldn't lose anything. So he quickly assigned me a second mission: take out another drug lord boss. He knew my son was my weakness, so he was confident I'd agree to do it again. When I stormed into the big drug lord's territory, the caller connected the camera on my body armor to a TV screen and had his crew watch what was about to become a live murder broadcast. But as soon as I got inside, I ran into trouble.